Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode of Slow Customs. And in today's episode we have USA Tour Flying Scotsman. Now I finished this guy maybe 2-3 days ago, and yeah. Getting into him, he's really simple. He's basically the same paint construction as my other Scotsman, in terms of like process. So I just did the same LNER green paint that I did for Scotsman and Papyrus. Then I did the white lining and then the running board and black. So that's really all that there is. That's basically the same for Scotsman. This episode is probably going to be like really short because of it. Just because I already explained how I did it in my British Scotsman in the past with all the paint and all that. So yeah. The firebox I think was cut down a little bit better compared to the British Scotsman, just because it does look a little bit better where it actually goes down to the bottom of it. But anyway, I guess we'll kind of go to the front here like we usually do for like an in-depth thing or whatever. I don't know. This one's kind of a bullshit one. Just something to show it off real quick. So as you can probably tell, he does not have a face. That is because I decided to make my Scotsman swappable. So I detached Scotsman's original face on my British Scotsman, as you can see there. That way, I'm able to only use one face, but it can go onto two engines. So this just goes into the peg at the bottom and should stay on if I line it up correctly. Right like that. So this is what he looks like with his face, and honestly, I think he looks really good. So yeah, the face is interchangeable. That way I save on a Gordon, because I really didn't feel like buying another Gordon just for the face. Because I was going to use a Henry anyway, like I did with my previous Scotsman. So yeah, and if you did notice, the face did come off a little bit there. There was a gap. I think I might add a magnet onto the back of the face and then use the pin here as like the receiving end of the magnet. That way it stays on a bit better. I don't know. I might not. I have no clue. Right now, with the USA, he fits really good because the lamp holds him on. So anyway, with his face, damn, I just realized I forgot to grab something at my dad's house. Dang it. To finish this. Anyway, what I was missing was a knuckle coupling. I completely spaced on that. Damn. I really should have gotten that. Damn. Okay. Anyway, so the cowcatcher bit, that is a piece of, or a bit of Toby that I cut off. It was a really shitty version of Toby. Or not like a shitty version. It was a really crappy model, or wooden one. I don't know. It was old, so I just decided to take the cowcatcher off of it. So yeah, and just kind of took off the front magnet, put the cowcatcher on, and then put the magnet back on again. Pretty simple. After I did that red, I gave it kind of like a white outline. That way it kind of went into his buffer beam line in there, as you can kind of see. So I think it looks pretty good, to be honest. I really like how that came out. So yeah, sorry if it's blurry. My camera apparently doesn't want to focus up close. Anyway. So the headlamp is, I believe, a salty like radiator vent thing. I don't know. It's like a exhaust from Salty that I took off when I made my Norjon. So I wrapped that in masking tape and gave it kind of like a little top bit there to act as kind of like an overhang, because the original headlamp actually went on to, let me think here. Oh yeah, Booster. So yeah, Booster now carries his original headlamp a while ago when I made it. So yeah. Anyway, that's painted white. His bell was the last part that I added. and it was probably the most difficult to actually find something for it because I just didn't know how to make a bill that looked good. So what I ended up doing was taking a off-brand dome off of a generic engine and cutting that down with a piece of paperclip stuck on. That way it acted like it was kind of like the frame. So honestly, I think it looks good. So yeah. This little bit here, I believe that is his 2-time whistle that he had to have. I'm not 100% sure. But I know it is definitely a whistle. I don't know if it's a 2-chime or a single chime or... I don't know. He had to have like another whistle on the front of him or whatever when he came to America, so... yeah, I just added that with a little bit of toothpick there and then just glued it on. There is a little bit of fogging on the sides of it because it kept falling off with the hot glue. So what I did was I took a bit of super glue, or not fogging, frosting, there it is, and glued that on. So I'll have to go back after and kind of go over the frosting just to cover that up. So his nameplate is the same. Coincidentally, it is a backup version of that nameplate. So it's the same thing all around, and I'm really grateful. Sorry about that, that was my watch. I'm really grateful that I made a second copy for my Scotsman here, so that's great. Now, the only last real key difference is the British Rail logo. On my UK Scotsman, he has his number, and then on his USA, he has the British Rail symbol, just like he actually did. Now, it's not the correct crest that he wore during his tour in the US, but I do believe it is close enough that it is passable. So, yeah, I just kind of did that on both sides. It's the standard BR crest that I use for all my BR engines, so, well, ones that aren't the modern blue or whatever, so. Yeah, like I said, this one was probably going to be a bit short, but I made it to like 10 minutes, almost, well, 8 minutes. Anyway, yeah, I do have more on the way. One of them is a very special one that I am actually very proud of, and that one should be finished probably tonight, so, anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.